product management is dead. It's very sad, but it's kind of true. And in today's podcast, we're gonna dive deeper and by bringing in the senior AI ML product manager, Sony Pati, she's going to dive deeper regarding why she thinks in the era of AI, the traditional product management is dead. She's also going to share her secret regarding how she was able to land 3 AI product manager job offers in the US within 1 month while being an Australian citizen. There's a lot of controversial insight in this podcast. Make sure to stay until the end of this talk and let me know if you agree with her or not. Hey guys, this is Dr. Nancy Lee, a direct product feature in Forbes that helps thousands of people land the dream PM job offer in fan companies and unicorn startup and continue to get promoted as a product leader. In this channel, we'll talk about tech trends and free product management training. Like and subscribe to our new videos every Tuesday. Hi Sunny, and welcome to Product Insider Podcast. How are you doing?
Hello, Dr. Nancy. Doing great. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I'm very excited to have you join this podcast and I know you are someone who actually live in 4 different countries and was able to land a job offer in the US while being able to land 3 AI PM job offers in the US, even within 1 month, a little 1 month while being an Australian citizen. And this like so much like challenges in the job market right now. Many people couldn't land a job, but you're able to really make it happen, taking jobs from Americans, even if an Australian citizen. You also brought up a lot of great insight regarding traditional product management instead. So I'm very looking forward to seeing your background. So also I did some quick research, and if I summarize it correctly, and let me know. So I believe you are currently a senior technical product manager at Ansera, and you're also engineered and turned accidental product manager who also work across the globe through Telstra, Huawei, and Qualcomm. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dr. Nancy. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah. So, Sunny, can you do this? Given you're new to this podcast, can you quickly do an introduction of yourself and also tell us regarding why you traveled to 4 different countries and it's a very intriguing experience?
Oh, definitely. So, hello, everyone. I'm Sony. I am currently working as a senior tech product manager in the AI/ML space at Ansera. It's a biotech research firm. And Dr. Mansi has been very kind with everything she has mentioned. But to give you a brief background, I started off as an engineer and I did that for about a decade. And rightfully, as she said, I did transition into becoming an accidental product manager. Not intentional, very accidental, but I enjoyed what I was doing. However, I didn't want to let go of the technical side of it. So I was intentional being a technical product manager. I know I was not great at marketing or some of the other stuff. So it was very intentional being in the tech space. So yeah, I worked at Qualcomm, very low level chipset side of things, then moved to Huawei. This is in China. So Qualcomm was in Bay Area in California, moved to China, worked with Huawei for a year there. In India for a year again with Huawei. Then I moved to Australia, worked there for more than a decade with Telstra, which is a telecom giant there. That was very intentional, love traveling. So yeah, if you get paid for traveling and working, why not?
This is very, very exciting. Actually, I usually hear people move from China, India to the US. You did opposite. Actually, you land a job in the US first,
Yeah.
and then you decide to go to China as Indian citizen at the time,
Yes.
I assume,
Yes.
right? And then
Yes.
you move back to India, they move to Australia again. So what make you want to do the reverse travel route compared with most people?
I think it's very interesting. I mean, traditionally, yes, the tech industry, it's always been US centric, a lot of changes happening, but that changed significantly over the last decade or a little over a decade, I would think, when I started traveling. The industry there was booming up with new ideas, a lot of innovative space. So yeah, it's actually great to be, and they move at a very fast pace. I mean, nothing like here. They do move at a very fast pace. So it was interesting to be there and work with different set of people, something I definitely enjoyed. I think I was the only Indian in China back then in my larger team. Few other
Wow.
people joined in, but it was amazing. I would not, trade it for any other experience.
This is awesome. I bet by now you must really love Chinese noodle soup by living in China.
I enjoyed, and I'm a big foodie, so that worked out great for me.
Awesome. Now, Sunny, let's continue your travel experience. So you move around and become Australian citizen, and recently, last year, you actually decide to move to the US. And now, welcome. So you already just accept the move here. And to be frank, I was so impressed. And actually, Sunny, you land 3 AI PM job offer in the US within 1 month, not 3 months. Usually, our student takes up on average about 3 months regarding job hunting season. You make it 1 month. So I'm very intrigued regarding how exactly you made it happen, especially being an Australian citizen.
Yeah, I think one of the things which I'm very keen on letting people know is being intentional about what you want to do, right? So when
Mm-hmm.
I decided to move, I thought I'll take a career break. That's the time I joined your boot camp because I wanted to build something in the AI space. I was working a lot on the machine learning side of things,
Mm-hmm.
not so much the AI side of things. So I thought, yeah, let me do something productive. I didn't want to join something wherein, it's all about mentorship and theory. It's more about building. So yeah, that was a duration when I started getting into this. Was okay, that's amazing things happening in the AI side. And I leveraged my background and my domain experience that I had in data and integration and machine learning and modeling. So all of the applications were intentional. I did not go blindly applying for jobs for
Mm-hmm.
any product manager role. I was pretty intentional in choosing the role that aligned with my domain experience. I was constantly building things, and that's something I really want to highlight. There's a whole bunch of tools available now. Start building. It's
Yeah.
it's it's easier than ever before. So I think showing that experience, building your portfolio, including all of that, showcases that you actually can fit into that role of AI product manager, as opposed
Mm-hmm.
to the traditional product manager where they're looking for something else. So the interviews are quite different as well. They are quite technical.
Yeah, so let's break it down, dive deeper. Thank you for
Yeah.
the entire like overview. This is like fascinating. So let me dive deeper a little bit. So you took up AI PM bootcamp. So you finish the your real life AI product,
Yep.
and then you turn into a portfolio to directly show it to the interviewer. Is that how the process look like?
So you include it in your application, right? Job
Mm-hmm.
application.
Yeah.
It's difficult to say whether or not someone actually looked at your portfolio, but
Mm-hmm.
depending on where you have hosted it, you do get a sense of the number of views you get on your portfolio.
Yeah.
So that
Do you
is
have
there,
views
right? Yeah, you
track?
you have views tracking, right? So that does say that, people are looking into it. They may
Mm-hmm.
not directly ask you questions from your portfolio. However, it's enough for them to know you have built something.
Mm-hmm.
And it sort of also shows them your thought process when you're building things. For
Yeah.
example, how did you end up choosing a model that you did? Do you know
Mm-hmm.
about architecture? Do you know about how the user stories are different for an AI product versus a traditional non-AI
Exactly.
product? So you're already showing that, right? So you're already giving them more information than,
Mm-hmm.
just a one-page resume can ever show that. So plus GitHub include if you're building, if you have GitHub repositories, include that as part of your application as well. So it solidifies you as a builder as opposed to, someone who's just talking theory.
This is awesome. So let me elaborate more. So regarding the GitHub, that's the developer's GitHub, right? You didn't create your own GitHub. It's more the developer when they develop real life AI product for you. So you show developer GitHub as part
Both.
of the message.
So no, both. I build a lot of side projects on my own, and that's something I want to highlight. You don't have to wait for a massive problem to go out there and solve and launch in the
Mm-hmm.
market and, make it into a billion-dollar company. Start building anything, pick up the smallest problem that you have. For example, I did something. I subscribe to a whole lot of newsletters.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's just too much. But it just means my mailbox is flooded and I really did not have time to go through all of them. So I just built a small AI summarizer tool for me that goes through links to my Gmail. So that code is there in the GitHub. So similarly, a lot of mini projects that I did with AI to make my life a lot more easier, did something for my kids. So I'm just showcasing all of that using a different model each time or just experimenting with the data that I have available on me. So yeah, that's the journey there.
This is awesome. So let me also reinforce regarding people reading your portfolio. Actually, people do read it, and actually, remember Jenny? I think Jenny is right after the cohort, right after you. She joined Meta El Llama team, and she literally posting Discord channel saying that once she linked her portfolio to her LinkedIn, and her success rate increased by 50%, at least
Yep.
50%,
Yep.
just from recruiters like outreach. Yes, so people are reading, watching, or
Yep.
at least click just out of curiosity what's in it, why there's a link, and you click that, holy crap, there's like examples of requirement written, the real life product you have built. So that's what it look like. Tell us more regarding product you built. Do you think the theme of the product matters, or it's more about any topic is fine, it's more about how you build such product? Tell us more.
How you build. It's
Mm,
any product is a product, right? Like it all depends your thought process behind building it, and there are certain key elements you need to consider when you are building an AI product. It
mm-hmm,
just does not fit into your traditional product management side of things. There are, for example, if I have to put out few things, what's your data pipeline?
yeah,
Super important. There is
exactly.
this buzz around more the data, the better for models, more the data, better for models. That's
Mm-hmm,
not entirely true. Your key
mm-hmm,
USB lies on the quality of the data over the quantity of the data. So what is that? Let's say you're working on a product. Everyone knows RAG these days. So
mm-hmm.
what is that additional supplemental data that you provided that resulted in better outcome for your product, right? That's your
Yeah.
key moat right there. So identifying those things, showcasing how you build that product, all the considerations you had as a product manager, for example, what are the evaluations criteria? That's a big thing in AI. People sort of don't think about it too much and they just go on blind building. But
Mm-hmm.
evaluation feedback loops for your model is super, super, super important. Might work today, it'll fail in 2 months if a small parameter changes. So are
Yeah,
you constantly evaluating? Show that thought process in your portfolio. That's super important because you're not
this is
going to be
awesome.
building the same product in the organization that you're joining, right? May not
Mm-hmm.
be, or maybe a similar thing. They just want to know what you thought about, what you considered.
Got you. So recently I introduced the new like collaboration model. It's called
Mhm.
Look Over Shoulder within AI PM Bootcamp. So for people who don't know AI PM Bootcamp, it is a basic program with design help people to teach you, and most important, match you with team of software developer, data scientists, and designer build real world AI product, and then you can turn into portfolio like Sony. And so this current cohort, the cohort 4, I will tell them that hey, you need to use a look over your shoulder model when you work with software developers. I think there's a huge difference between traditional product management and AI PM. So traditional PM probably they write product requirement and send over to their software developers, and you have daily standard agile, so make sure they are on track, develop everything on the backlogs. And for AI PM, I introduced saying that you need to look over their shoulder, which exactly what you described. Hey, when you select this model versus the other model, why? How much data is needed? When you build a rack, what kind of additional data? How would you like clean those data? How would you define the quality of the data? And then when you engineer a stack, you jump in to, hey, let's evaluate these models together. What kind of data have you used of your stack? You see hallucination, how exactly solve this.
Mm.
This kind of look over your shoulder model, and you actually was doing this in your entire experience. And then you can talk about all those technical elements, but not technical in terms of coding. It's not technically I understand in real life how to build AI product. Am I right in terms of summary?
Yep, yep, yep.
This is awesome.
Absolutely.
Cool. And Sunny, so let's quickly move on to the very important topic, which is the traditional PM.
Mhm.
Something you kind of talked about already to say, hey, traditional PM, the way you write product requirement documentation is different compared with your general PM. And you also mentioned interview process different for traditional PM, AI PM. We'll dive into interview later on. But now let's talk about this. When you joined this podcast, you told me product management is dead,
Yep.
especially the traditional PM is that. So tell us, why is that? What the differences? Tell us more.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I'm quite keen on talking on this one, just based off my experience so far. PRDs. Let's just start with PRDs, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like this big tool you have. I have not written a PRD in a while. No one asks for it. No one looks at the document. It's just a repository to collect my thoughts, but nothing beyond it. It's more
Mm-hmm.
prompt specifications now.
Mm.
So you're constantly prompting. It's think of it as a PRD as a blueprint that was there that told the people who were building exactly how they should build.
Yeah.
These are your specifications. These are your user stories. This is the flow you need to follow. No one's waiting for that anymore. You're constantly iterating now. It's more like a behavioral analyst. You're more thinking about the model space and its behavior. Your inputs are constantly changing. So every time you're prompting more and more and more, you need to know it's a very important skill set now for a product manager. Prompting, you need to know what you're after. It's more like a recipe you're building and you're tasting it constantly.
Hmm.
And your taste here is basically your user feedback. You're getting quick feedback and no one's asking for your designs, UX designs. You're not spending, hours or days or weeks with the UX designer anymore. Build prototypes. That's your demo.
Hmm.
So your tools, productivity tools and supporting frameworks that traditional PMs used, they were great, but they are slow.
Yeah.
And if you're on an AI, in the AI space, no one has time for that. So you're spinning out ideas a lot faster, which is visual, and people are giving you feedback, much faster. That's just one example of how things have changed in this space significantly.
Yeah, so let's give us specific examples in terms of tools.
Yeah.
So you mentioned people do that, they read a PRD, lots of prompting. Let's dive deeper, right? For example, for prompting, are you saying that you don't write PRD anymore? You use ChatGPT or any other tools? Say, can you write the requirement for me? And now MEP, right? You say people want to see the visual. Like, what tools do you use for visual for AI product? So
Mhm.
break it down so that other people can do the same.
Yep. So you have a lot of no low code and no code tools these days. I
Mm-hmm.
personally love using Replit and Bolt.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm building the prototype, it's not just front end, it's back end, it's a full stack application in itself where I validate 10 different ideas where I have super quick. Do I need a button here? Just an example. Oh, it doesn't make sense. Maybe something else in this space.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe, this user flow from this page to the next page. Maybe not so great. Let me try out three different things. So I'm building full stack applications, and it took me the last one in my very recent organization. Traditionally, their cycle for a new feature was about 4 to 5 weeks. Not too bad. That's good enough until
Yeah.
you
They're pretty
reach.
fast, actually. Yeah.
So this is just the UX I'm talking about. 4 to 5 weeks
Hmm.
of UX
UX.
iteration before it reaches the developing developer team. It
Hmm.
took me 3 days
For the UX, just
for
by
the
yourself, without hiring designers.
without no designer, no nothing. It was a full stack, fully built prototype. I use Bolt for this one because that it requirements fit there.
Hmm.
The sales was on board. The company CEO was on board. We went one step further. We showed the demo to the customer on the prototype. So we know that there are buyers. That's a solid proof on what you're trying to build, whether it works or not. 3 days.
Hmm.
That's how
Wow.
fast this landscape is changing, right? And you need to be able to use these productivity tools to make your life a lot more easier. So that's why I said demos before memos. That's the mantra I have. I don't want to send them 20 pages of functional requirements and product requirements and expect responses from them.
Crazy. I love this. Demos before memos. This is awesome. So let's dive deeper. So the MEP you talk about, you didn't build the data pipeline in the back end. It's mainly the front end, showing what the future would look like without hiring like designers, all of these. Am I right?
Okay, partially. So
Mm.
I sort of bypassed the designer to a great extent. However, I did have
Yeah.
the style guide the company has, right? That's something you can incorporate into your
Mm.
prototypes. As far as the data goes, because I have been in the tech space, especially focusing on data and integration projects for more than a decade now, I knew the backend left, right, and center. I exactly knew how the data pipeline would be set. So when I was showing the data in the front end or in the UX, those were not made up numbers. I could actually spin up versions of the data that I wanted to show, which is pretty accurate to the actuals. So
Mm-hmm.
understanding your data model is also super important. Again, it really depends on the product. The ones I'm building are a lot more data intensive, and you're showing a
Yeah.
lot of insights in your product based on the data. So it's super
Mm-hmm.
important to incorporate that into what I was building. So it was not just, some vague representation of the data with just UI.
This is awesome. So let me ask you this very sensitive question. Lots of my audience, they don't know how to code. You
Mm-hmm.
happen to know how to code. That's why you did it in 3 days. People might find like challenges in, oh, what if I don't know how to code?
Mm-hmm.
In that case, what should they do? Do you think the same tools is applicable for them? Maybe they're slower, or maybe they build the front end regarding data pipeline. They don't understand, right? They can just have engineers help them out. So how is applicable to someone who doesn't know how to code, like myself? I got my PhD in material science. No clue. I'm a chemist. So yeah, assuming you're teaching me how to do it. So
Okay.
what would it be?
Fair enough. That's a fair question, right? This
Mm-hmm.
is what I say. Get started.
Mm,
Get started on doing the simplest thing that you want to solve, right? Let's say that I want to build something where I on click, the color of the box changes. That is
yeah.
all your web app does. Can you build that prototype using a no code tool as a product manager? You have a certain idea that every time I click on a box, the color will change. Pick
Mm-hmm.
up a tool that allows you to do that. And there's a whole bunch of tools. The
Yeah.
landscape has changed when it comes to productivity tools in last 1 year, okay? There's
Mm-hmm.
so many of them out there. Not getting started is the biggest hurdle. It's not that I'm non-technical and hence I can't do it. As long as, let's see, I know I'm saying traditional product management is dead, but the skill set is not. The
True.
intuition that you normally should possess as a product manager, the thinking, right? The thought process, just knowing your users, that skill set is not going away anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Use those skill set. You should be able to prompt using those skill set to these tools to then allow these tools to build what you need.
I
So,
agree.
so that's the bridge right there, right? And this is a simple example. If you want to build something that close to your domain, like I have zero experience in healthcare, for example, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a massive sector. For a traditional product manager who has been in the healthcare sector for over a decade, they would
Yeah.
prompt a lot better than I would for a healthcare product. Use those skill sets, start building something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. So I feel the same way. Actually, I think for people who don't know how to code, it's more about psychology, mindset shift.
Yep,
And just think about, oh, no code tools. Oh, like all the story you heard from, oh, they built it because they have coding background from 10 years ago. Or like, no, it's more about mindset shift. For example, myself, it's like crazy. I felt the same feeling. And the shift in my life was last summer, and my daughter is only like 4 months old, and also have a 2 year old. It's like super busy mom. But I knew AI is changing the product management space, so I was like, you know what? If let me take a look, see how it can change me. And then I spent 3 hours on Saturday night and literally built my first the image recognition model. There's so many existing data pipelines, image recognition, and I don't know how to code. And I asked ChatGPT to teach me how to write Python. Everything is
yep,
written by ChatGPT. I plugged in, and it just worked within 3 hours on Saturday night. I was like, this is crazy. Someone like me can do it. Lots of people can do it. It's more about jumping over the mindset
yep,
hurdle. And
yep,
then when you start using it, wow, this is like genius. This can be done. And it's smarter than before. And then sorry that we are replacing entry level designer jobs. So I have seen lots of people, the entry level designer fresh out of college couldn't land a job nowadays. It's well, some of them the good one can, right? So the entry level ones, they just have a harder time to land entry level like a designer job, because we prime managers, the new version of AI PM is replacing their jobs right now. So if we don't make changes ourselves, our job will get replaced in the future. But I do
yep,
agree with you regarding the skill set. It's the same, right? Understanding customers, that's what the higher product manager, great product manager, do product strategies,
yep.
customer empathy. That's what we need to continue get doing.
Absolutely, yep.
Sunny, clearly you have established that everyone should become AI PM and traditional PM is dead, and we are replacing people's job, which is quite true. And now let's talk about job, right? As I mentioned earlier, I was totally very impressed. Right, someone from Australia took jobs from U.S. citizens, and also did it within 1 month. You
Hmm.
took 3 AI PM jobs out there. So you also said the interview process completely different. Can you tell us more regarding the job hunting process? Now, let's assume you already developed your AI product portfolio, you have
Yep.
hands-on experience with a team of developers to create this and launch your product as well. So, how you actually land 3 jobs within 1 month, like this year, it is like so impressive. Tell us more.
Okay, number one, make sure your LinkedIn is up to date. I cannot stress enough. Ensure it's up to date. ensure it tells the story that you want to say, correct? We
Mm-hmm.
didn't have AI product managers a year ago. That role is brand new. So
Yeah.
it's not like you have they are looking at experienced AI product managers. They know that, you won't find many in that space. That's a given.
Mm-hmm.
Use that to your leverage. Number one, identify what you have worked in the past that relates to this field. Have you worked with data? Have you worked with machine learning models? And people think machine learning is new. It's been there for decades. Almost
Yeah.
all organizations use it in some shape or format. It's just that people were not talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Speak to it. You're in a banking system, for example. They've been using machine learning models for fraud detection from ages. Speak to it if
Exactly.
you're in the banking sector. So your profile should say you understand the key elements of what AI needs. Do you understand data? Have you worked in data related projects? Do you understand integrations? Do you understand evaluations? How do you evaluate if a product is good or not? Do you understand scalability? Do you understand accuracy of results? Speak
Mm-hmm.
to it as part of your profile. That's number one, right?
Yeah.
Number two is be intentional to the roles that you're applying for. Yes, they
Mm.
do look for a technical background, but they also look for that intuition that is required, right? What are the products you've worked in? Do not let go of your domain experience. I cannot stress on this enough. People just are applying for AI product manager roles that's got nothing to do with their domain experience just because it's an AI PM role. It doesn't work that way. So if you're in a healthcare sector, I use that example because a lot of jobs are in AI space in that sector.
Yeah.
Apply for those roles. If you have a healthcare background, you can speak to it better than any other AI product manager.
Mm-hmm.
You know that domain. Go with ideas on how AI can shape this field. Be aware of it. Be context aware. Do your research. Understand the AI ecosystem. It's not just about you reading a definition of a word. Truly understand. And I think it's in your bootcamp, one of the very first, the reference materials.
Yeah.
How many have actually truly gone through it and understood? Like
Yeah.
that's the
Exactly.
question you need to ask yourself. Am I understanding what RAG is? Do I understand what neural networks is? Do I understand what model fine tuning is? They will ask you those questions. So I think a lot of people might get through
Mm-hmm.
the first hurdle of getting the interview call, but from that point, they are going to test you on these skills.
Awesome. Yes, we
So,
have very comprehensive training in the earlier modules for people to learn the basics of AI. And then next step is actually like building it. So you're a combo of both. I see what you mean. And you also mentioned something very important. I do like to highlight for all our audience, which is be intentional regarding the type of role you apply. Leverage your prior experience. If you're already in healthcare, and let's say you are, I don't know, data scientist in healthcare,
mhm.
you're not an AI PM, but if you already have the healthcare experience, you just need to brush up your AI skills. And of course, welcome to check out our join our AI PM bootcamp. But your knowledge in the healthcare space is hard to replace by people who recently learned AI. So therefore, be intentional, understand what you
Yep.
had. But now also look back and actually inside our we have free AI PM workshop coming up in the next week or so. We are talking about three different ways to break into AI PM. One of the ways is actually leverage your industry experience. For people who want to dive deeper and learn more, it's totally free. For our AI PM workshop, you should go to pmaccelerator.io/AIPM to learn more. I'm also going to link in the description of this show note. And so, Sunny, let me also ask you this: yourself actually move into healthcare yourself.
No,
You're someone,
yeah. So
right?
yeah, here's the thing. For me, I
Mm,
didn't leverage the biotech side of things, zero experience there, but
mm-hmm.
everything they did was in the data space. And that's
Uh,
the space I was in. There is something in your experience that you can speak to when you're applying for these roles, correct? It was all about
mm-hmm.
data. You need to be super cognizant of what a data pipeline is, what a data
Yeah.
model is. What does data mean for an AI model? It's completely different from your traditional way of talking about data. So I could speak to all of that
Mm-hmm.
when I applied for this role. So be intentional about it.
Yeah.
So your domain, your experience, something has to tie back to the role that they are looking for, right? And then you can speak towards it.
Yeah.
So that's
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, I can totally speak to that. I'm not sure if you remember Praku. Praku is also one of our alumni. He worked for self-driving car company, and now he worked for MongoDB with company different roles as an AI senior AI PM right now. in very different industry. The way he did it was leverage past experience. I know self-driving car, knowing all the models, and I can help you to do database AI. So it really depends on how you package your past experience, understand
Yep.
how it's relevant to AI, which also go back to fundamental. You must learn all the AI knowledge and plus gain some hands-on experience and play with those important AI model with a team of developers so that you have something you can show up during the interviews. Cool. Sunny, so let's also give an overview regarding what other advice would you have for people who become an AI PM? I feel you kind of give lots of tips. Do you want to like summarize the maybe top three things they need to do to really break in right away?
Number one, understand the AI ecosystem. Don't get lost in the buzzwords. It is evolving fast when no one can catch up. Don't get overwhelmed. Start with the basics. There are amazing resources. That's deep learning. There are Coursera. Like if you really want to understand the concepts and basics, right? Start somewhere.
Mhm.
Start reading about it. Just don't read news about AI. Read about AI. What is it? Right? Understand the entire ecosystem. Think in your head. Number two, how does it make sense to the domain expertise you have? Do you have ideas? Can you speak to those ideas?
Mm.
Number three, it is a technical space. Put in some effort. Technical doesn't mean you have to go there and start coding or you need to know Python, you need to know scripting, etc. That's not really true. System design, think data pipelines, think architecture, think scalability, think deployment. That's technical. It's not directly translating into coding. So think about all those space. So that's your tech side of the AI that you need to also be cognizant about. So yeah, those
Mhm.
are the three things I would really, really stress upon if you're entering into AI. Don't constantly read news and move beyond ChatGPT. That does make your life a lot easier, but that's just one component of AI. You won't be using ChatGPT in your work, right? You're using other things in your work, so explore those things.
Yes, we also have a list of recommended tools for all product managers that powered by AI. In the description of the show note, everyone need to go download, start using and exploring those tools and right away. It's also on website pmaccelerator.io/AI tools, and I highly recommend everyone to start using and learning right away. And for everybody who's interested in PM Accelerator, and actually our next cohort is starting very soon, feel free to go to our free AI PM workshop to learn more. And actually, we teach lots of things regarding system design, everything you covered there, as we covered there, and also give you developers to create real life AI products. You work in a cross functional team, really master your product leadership skills. I'm also going to link all the information in the description of the show note as well. Sunny, let me ask you two final questions I always ask all my guests. I personally is a big believer of personal growth, professional growth, and growth mindset. So, how do you grow yourself professionally and personally, and what resources do you recommend for people to grow themselves?
So obviously, I've been a lot interested in the AI space, which is why I'm
Mhm.
here these days, and everyone should be interested. So for me, I think every week I pick up a topic.
Mhm.
Maybe there's a new tool that I want to play around with, or maybe there's a new version of a model that I was previously using. Let me go ahead and explore it. I pick up a topic, I spend some time on it, take my notes, try to understand it a little better, read, constantly read. I mean, that's just a habit of mine, always been a habit of mine, but I'm doing it a lot more these days just to keep up.
Mhm.
There's rundown.ai. That is a great one that summarizes everything that's happening in the AI space, and then I pick and choose the areas that I want to explore. So that's a good resource if anyone is interested. So
Mhm.
yeah, just keep reading. Second one, keep building. I've told multiple times today. So keep building. Pick up small little things to make your life easier. And I can almost guarantee you'll start enjoying the space a lot more, and that fear factor with AI will slowly disappear. So yeah, those are the two things. That's my way of keeping up the learning cycle and constantly being there on the top of at least where I can be personally, right? You can't just keep pace with the way things are moving too fast these days. Yeah,
Totally.
so definitely those two things.
Cool. We're also going to link the resource you mentioned in the description of the show note. Everyone should just start learning right away. And actually, I set very similar goals with my husband, and I said I want to learn one thing every week. But That's everything, including parenting. I'm taking parenting classes myself. I'm learning everything. I just continuous learning. This is just my style. I'm glad we're on the same page. And now, final question, Sunny. So, how can people find you and follow you?
So yeah, I'm on LinkedIn. Just look up for my name, Sony Pati, and you should be able to find me. Dr. Nancy, I don't know if you want to link it, but yeah, you should be able to find me there and message me if you have any questions.
Awesome. I'm going to link it in the description, the show note as well. And everybody, and if you find today's podcast very insightful, I believe they are, make sure to like and comment and share this video with any aspiring AI product managers or existing AI leaders out there. There's so much room for us to grow, learn together. You can follow us in all your favorite social channels. And for example, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, podcasts, and as well as LinkedIn, Twitter, X, and Instagram, as well as TikTok. And we do daily content boost and help people to grow in the space of AI and product management. And let's grow in the space together. This is Dr. Nancy Lee from PM@Certa.io. I'm see you in my next video right here. Like, comment, subscribe. See you next time. Thank you for joining us, Sunny.
Thank you.